Hey everyone, I'm Lauren Mays. I know you saw my picture on the class, but I wanted to do a video real quick just to touch base with you guys. I know it's been a little bit of a rough start with some issues and how the class was set up with the forum and some internet issues on my end, but I think all of that is fixed, and so we should be able to move forward fairly quickly and hopefully painless at this point. All of you are doing really well on delivering your speeches, learning different things on just doing the class, getting your videos uploaded to YouTube. If you don't have a grade on your speech, then I left a comment if I can't access it, so do check that for me. I also am going to share a video that I really like by Amy Cuddy, and I will share my thoughts on the video and hopefully how you can use it. It's not a grade. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to watch it, but I do find that it is helpful as we all move forward, either in our education or our career. If you have any questions, if anything's going wrong, feel free to email me in the class email. Everything should be caught up at this point. If you do not have a grade on something through the commemorative speech, then there's an issue. Either I can't access it, or I can't see it, or something's missing, so we'll need to check those grades. I will be completing the forum that we're in the middle of right now as soon as that is done with the responses, and so you'll have those grades as well. So as we move forward, I hope to do a video every week just to keep you up to date on some thoughts that I may have, some comments, the things that are not in the class anymore. I'm going to post an organization tip that I like to use, and I'm going to draw it out here, and then I will share a picture of it in the class. It's based off of a hamburger, and you might have had an English teacher that showed you this on how to structure your speech. Very close to how you would structure an English paper. A lot of you are fine on this, but there are a few you're kind of struggling on the structure of the speech. If I had a lot of comments on your plan page about structure or organization, try to write it out like an outline instead of a paper. That is perfectly acceptable to put in the class as an outline. Let me show you it's my hamburger on a piece of paper that obviously had water on it. So the top is the introduction, and then the meat of the sandwich. I mean, that's why we buy a sandwich, right? We buy it for the double meat, bacon, patty, whatever is on there. So that is the meat of our speech as well. It's the body of the speech. I would encourage you to write out the body of your speech first before you go and try to write an introduction or a conclusion. Just remember that you can't introduce and you can't conclude a speech that you haven't written yet. So try to keep that in mind as we move forward. And I am going to write out these here, and then we're going to go over it. If you have any comments or questions about this, let me know. You can comment on my video. So up here we have the introduction, which is the top hamburger patty. We have three main ideas, 1, 2, and 3, which is the meat of the sandwich, and then our conclusion. These fancy rectangles here, that is cheese. And we all know what happens when you put cheese on a hot hamburger, right? It sticks together, and so it holds everything together. So that is going to be your transitions, your transition statements, the thing that holds everything together and completes your speech. So I'm going to write that on here. I want you to think about time, especially as we move into these bigger speeches, how you're organizing your time. The meat of our sandwich, or the body of the paragraph, the body of the speech, I'm sorry. I always say let's do 80% there. I'm hoping it's not backwards for you, but 80% of our time is spent on the body of the speech. So I like to say that's 80% of your research time, that's 80% of your speaking time, it's 80% of your information is in the body of the speech. So then you have your introduction. We have about 20% left over after that. You have 15%, right? In your introduction, and then the leftover in your conclusion. This conclusion just needs to remind your listeners what you talked about and have a nice wrap up. maybe 1 or 2 sentences to wrap it up. This introduction, you want to think of it as a funnel. So you want to start with some big, maybe broad statement and bring it into a very specific central idea for your speech, what you're going to tell them. It can go something, maybe if you're doing a speech over, I don't know, national parks. I really like national parks. You know, talk generally about how many national parks there are, and then you're going to bring it down to maybe you're going to tell us about national parks on the West Coast. So today I'm going to talk to you about the national parks on the West Coast. That would be your central idea. And then your main ideas would be each national park on the West Coast. And then your conclusion, today I was able to share with you about the national parks on the West Coast. One of my biggest bucket list items is to visit them. And so that just wraps it up. It helps you become connected to the topic. And then all of your support materials will support those main ideas, and you're kind of proving why that main idea is in your speech because of this, this, and this. We'll talk more about how you organize those main ideas. Like if it's a space and time, like you're telling about a certain time, you'll want to do that in a chronological order. If it's a space, maybe a continent or a country or a city, you would want to kind of spatially arrange that to where the listener can follow along with your main ideas. Start at the north part, and then the middle, and then the south. So as we go, those kind of questions, please ask me them. They're not small. If it's a really, really short, quick turnaround and you need an answer from me very quickly, feel free to text me. That's my cell phone number on the front page. You can text me and get a very quick answer. I will most likely follow up with an email in the class email to say, hey, you know, per our conversation, this, this, and this, so that we have documentation of that, and so we both remember. But please use that class email. Text me if you have to, if you need a quick turnaround answer. I apologize for the internet issues we've had and for the forum problems. Reach out, call me if you have any questions, if you have any issues, and we'll see you on the internet. Thanks, guys.